Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Football Friday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, and Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. Appreciate y'all for being here, as always, so thanks for jumping aboard here. A lot on the line this weekend, man. We may actually go to bed tomorrow. The next time your head, well, no, I guess because you'll sleep tonight, but your Fighting Tigers of LSU could very well be the SEC West champ tomorrow night. Crazy. Sam Pittman met with reporters. That would be the Arkansas coach, for those that are unfamiliar. Sam Pittman met with reporters and disclosed that they are preparing to play without KJ Jefferson. They are preparing to start Malik Hornsby against LSU, and then they'll wait to see if KJ is a go. It's everyone I know, and I know a lot of folks that cover Arkansas. We just over the years. I've just gotten to know a lot of folks cover Arkansas, just kind of doing reciprocal radio and things like that. And everyone I ask over there about Jefferson, they all think that he's going to try to give it a shot, which makes sense that he would try to give it a go. But they don't know how effective he'll be. So I don't know if you've noticed, but the line did move yesterday, so this is the first time we've seen some upward action in the line. It's been 3, so you had some sharp money come in on LSU, which bumped to 3.5. You're actually seeing some 4s out there as well, so that's encouraging if you're an LSU fan. You want the professional money coming in on LSU to move the line. You do not want all the public money betting LSU. And right now, up until yesterday, that line had not moved at all, which you had seen pretty much 50-50 bets, 50-50 money, which means the line is pretty strong. So the fact that you're seeing the professional money come in on it, it's going up to 3.5. Let's see what it does today and tomorrow morning. I think the more information the professional gamblers get about KJ Jefferson, the more you might see that line move. So, and obviously, if KJ Jefferson is limited or unable to go, it just drastically changes the ball game, because really everything Arkansas does, it's rooted in their ability to run the quarterback. So you hate for anybody to be injured, but that may work out in LSU's favor. So, Pels lost last night at home to Portland. Tough, back-to-back. Back-to-backs are always tough. So lost at home last night as a big favorite, a 9-point favorite. Lost by double digits last night. So that was really disappointing to see. All right. Y'all fire away. Anything you got, you know the drill. YouTube, please smash that like button. Facebook, please like the page. Like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Let's get to it. Kelly Gross, good morning. Ty Fly, what's up? Michael Arthur, Ryan Amanda Guidry, Bubba Smith, Brant Roban. Donuts with Dads at my girls' school this morning. They just asked if I was listening to that Scone LSU guy again. Go Tigers. I love it. That's so good. Enjoy Donuts with Dads, man. That's really cool. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Matt McGuire, what's going on, man? Good morning. Let's see. Trivia Carter. Matt. Oh, bad news. Birds didn't win. Bad news. Birds didn't win. Yes, the Pelicans lost yesterday. Disappointing, but y'all, if you do sports bet, y'all gotta be tuned into our guys, man. So yesterday, Ott gave you Memphis laying the 7 hit. Paul Nolan from freewinners.net gave us the under in the Thursday Night Football NFL game hit, which was way more dramatic at the end than it needed to be, with the Panthers' inability to run at the clock, giving up a 97-yard touchdown drive to Atlanta in like 6 plays, and then anyway, but it hit. And then Colucci had 3 hockey plays, and he went 2-1, and one of them was a puck line play, and that hit. And I'm telling you, man, these guys are on fire right now. Brandon Wilkinson, Cody Champion. What's up, Matt? Headed to Fayetteville now. Okay, safe drive, man. Safe drive up there. It's a long drive. So much of it's not interstate. So it's the challenge. Remember driving up to Little Rock all those years. I mean, you basically, if Baton Rouge take 49 up to Shreveport, and then you get on those state roads, man, it's just state roads like all the way up to Little Rock. And I think it's the same way up to Northwest Arkansas the rest of the way. So long drive, man. Be safe. Wendell Norman, Cliff Nelson, good morning. Larry Garner, Nicholas Cantrell, Cody Champion. Yeah, thank you, Cody. Happy Veterans Day. Absolutely. Cliff, Trivia, a lot of y'all I know that are veterans. All those that served, happy Veterans Day. Thanks to all of you today. And every day, but especially today where we recognize your service. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. Reed Rule. Will Armani Goodwin take a bigger role tomorrow? Only had 1 carry against Bama. Reed, Brian Kelly was asked about that on Monday about Armani Goodwin's health, and he basically said, look, it was a game plan thing this past week. He's healthy, but, what they were looking for, and it made sense. They had, and it worked. John Emery gave you a couple of explosive plays, including the 30-yard touchdown, and Josh Williams played a great game. Had a touchdown run, obviously blocked really well. So, I think Armani Goodwin is absolutely going to have a bigger role. I think it was just one of those deals where it was a game plan thing, and also just to give him, remember he missed some time from New Mexico until Ole Miss when he returned. Ran really hard against Ole Miss, but then had the open date, only had 1 carry last week. So really he's only kind of turned it up once in about 6 weeks. So that was Ole Miss. So he should really be good to go. Matt Plavidal, what's going on? Eric Wilder-Otter. Morning, Matt. Over the past 2 seasons, Saints have objectively had the most injuries in the league and terribly mismanaged the IR. Should we overhaul the training staff? Eric, that's a very fair question. It's a very fair question. So, real quick, just as an explanation for those who don't know, you could put a player, it used to be that if you put a player on IR, he was done for the year. They changed the rule where you can put a player on short-term IR, but if you put them on IR, they have to sit for 4 weeks, and then they're eligible to come off of IR. So, for example, like this year, Michael Thomas, with the injury, didn't go to IR. So he was occupying a roster spot even though he wasn't playing because they were hopeful they could get him back in less than 4 weeks. Obviously, they didn't. Same with Jarvis Landry. Same with Marshawn Lattimore. And this has been a little bit of a recurring thing here. Now, my thing, Eric, is I don't know if that's training staff, if that's the team physician, if that's, or what that is. But it's a fair question to ask and to say that they have mismanaged a lot of that. I mean, it's fair to say. And I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. I don't know, upon whose shoulders that falls. If the doctors are given good information, but the team says, "Hey, let's chance it," I don't know. Spurge, morning, Matt. Pulled pork on the Big Green Egg tomorrow. Food Pig tastes good. LMAO. Kyle Milliken, morning, Matt. As I'm sure you know by now, I live in Mississippi. Recently, Ole Miss and State are doing a lot of collective stuff, raising money for NIL. Does LSU or TAF have a way for the average fan to donate to NIL? No, Kyle. There have been some crowdfunding efforts by LSU fans, but the NCAA is going to pass legislation eliminating that. That's expected, if it hasn't already happened. LSU has just not been as organized on the collective front as they put on that they are. And I don't know if it's intentional that they're just, I don't want to say being deceitful because it makes it sound so dishonest. I don't think they're trying to deceive people or anything, but it's either that, to try to keep the anxiety down, or if it's they really believe they're doing a good job, which they're not. Especially doing the NIL podcast that I do now with Pixley, every week we talk to people around the country that are people who cover the space, who run collectives or businesses or coaches and athletes. And bro, LSU's behind, like very far behind. I mean, my understanding is their collective had aimed to raise about $5 million, the LSU collective Go Enterprises, and they're not close to that. Meanwhile, Auburn's sitting on $13 million, and Miami's got sort of an unlimited tap with John Ruiz. There's a lot of places. We told you, Texas Tech, places like Texas Tech and SMU are paying every scholarship football player, $20,000. I mean, it's crazy. So LSU's been far behind in the collective space. But I'll tell you this. It's what I've said all along, is that the advantage that LSU has, that is a perpetual advantage, is that there are always going to be great players from the state that just want to go to LSU no matter what. Will Campbell, 5-star offensive lineman, would have cut off his arm to go to LSU. Wasn't going anywhere else. Walker Howard wasn't going anywhere else. NIL money or not. Now, there's going to be players that you're going to have to take care of. But it's not like that's going to have to be the cornerstone of how you build your roster, as evidenced by the success LSU's having in recruiting. But you may lose some high-profile battles because of it. Brian Williams, good morning from Central Oklahoma. 33 degrees this morning. Whew. Joey B19, any GameCoin updates? Crypto is crashing again. Yeah, man, look, if you follow the crypto markets or any crypto influencers or anything like that, it's long been assumed via the TA, the technical analysis, that the bottom for Bitcoin was 14K. So we are in the crypto winter. We're in a bear market, and you can just look at the Bitcoin cycles, and we will see new all-time highs probably late summer of 2024. And then you'll see the parabolic run-up again in the bull market. So like we saw this past year. So the fact that crypto is crashing is not a surprise. The FTX news is a black eye, but that's why I always encourage people, if you're going to get into crypto, do your research. I mean, I probably did 100 hours of research on crypto before I ever invested $1 into anything. And Sam Bankman-Fried is a guy that didn't have a great reputation, so I never put $1 into FTX. I don't own any FTT token. I never put a single dollar on the FTX exchange. And by the way, for those who are uninformed, the FTX issue does not affect the U.S. market. So if you are in the U.S. and you're on the FTX platform in the U.S., they're completely liquid. Like, you can get your money out. Anyway. There's just so much misinformation. It's just so important people do their own information. As for GameCoin's going great, man. I know I say that all the time, and people, like, you can look at the price of GameCoin falling, but the price of all of crypto is falling. But what I can tell you is GameCoin is in as stable a place as it's ever been because the platform is being developed. It looks awesome. The conversations are being had about, the developers that are building a platform now, but who's going to maintain it, other features that are being added. Have conversations every week about people reaching out about partnerships and collaborations. Some people currently in the NFT space, artists and other developers. Like, it's exciting. I mean, you can see people get the vision for it. Just play the long game. Just play the long game. That's all that's my best advice. Brett DeGrow, good morning, Scone. Happy Veterans Day to all who served. Yes, indeed. Dave Vendur, good morning. Ian Wolf, John Melanson, morning, Matt. A little nervous about tomorrow. I think we're just used to coaches putting everything into Bama game, coming out flat the next week. Hey, look, John, I'll say this again. Ed Ogeron never had that problem. That was a Les Miles problem. And it was one we talked about a lot here. And, Ed, I thought, did a really good job of that, of compartmentalizing week to week. Ed never lost to Arkansas until last year when he was a lame duck and he basically punted the game by playing Nussmeier after starting Max Johnson for a series. But look, here's Ed's record against Arkansas. 38-10, 33-10, 24-17, 56-20, 27-24. That was in 2020. That was the TJ Finley game in the rain. And then last year they lost in overtime. So, the problem that LSU had for a lot of years was quite honestly, was Les put so much into the Bama game that whenever they would lose to Bama, you would have this deflating effect. So anyway, I think Brian Kelly's going to be fine. I think he's shown the ability to get this team ready to go week to week. So maybe I'm naive and maybe they'll come out flat and maybe it'll be an awful letdown spot. But boy, I think I don't worry about that. I'm more concerned about what is KJ Jefferson going to play. Eric Johnson, good morning. Patrick Berglass, good morning. KJ will be limited once Harold Perkins pops him a time or two. It's not just Perkins, but I know what you mean. Paul Losi, good morning. Hey, Dad, morning. Just landed in Baltimore. Bunch of Notre Dame and Navy parents. Are they playing in Baltimore this weekend? Okay. Nick Bradley Hole, I live in Little Rock. Weather tomorrow morning for the game, Fayetteville is going to be cold and windy, 27 degrees at the start of the game. David Tolson, an act approved May 13, 1938, made the 11th of November, each year legal holiday, a day to be dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be thereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. Armistice Day was primarily set aside. This is a long post. I'm just going to say, for the sake of time, I'm going to say Happy Veterans Day. I'm going to say for the sake of time. But yes, Happy Veterans Day to all those that served. My dad's a Navy man. Happy Veterans Day. Brant Roban, does Georgia have way better players overall than Bama? If we do that to Young, I don't see why we couldn't give Bennett fits and take advantage. Brant, I'm going to say it again, dude. The biggest difference with what Alabama was and what they are this year is the line of scrimmage. And excuse me. They are not on the line of scrimmage what they've been in the past. I'm not saying they won't get back there, but they're just not this year. On the interior. Not like Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, really good on the edge. They're interior defensive players. Their offensive line, not what they were. That's the difference. They got skill guys. They're just not as good at the line of scrimmage. And yes, Georgia has those players. You think Bama will take a hit after this year with losing Bryce Young? Wonder what the odds are LSU winning the West next year. Yeah, Brandon, it's impossible to place those odds as of right now. You got to see who comes back and who's going to go pro and what rosters look like. But man, I would just caution you before you ever count Alabama out. They lost. In 2010, they won the championship in 2009. In 2010, if you remember, they lost 3 games. They lost to South Carolina, lost to LSU, lost to Auburn with Cam. So at 9-3, they blew out Michigan State in the Citrus Bowl that year. I guess it was the Capital One Bowl then. And they came back in 2011, and we know how that ended. And they won it in 11 and 12. So they just kind of keep on rolling. They so I wouldn't count them out at all. Josh Jam, good morning. What coffee do you drink? These are just like we have a Keurig, so it's just I think this is like Dunkin' Donuts K-Cups. And by the way, I am not a super particular coffee person. I'll drink whatever coffee. So I put a little splash of cream in it, but shout out community and the local brands and all that stuff. But I'm not a particular coffee drinker. Trivia Carter, so we're not going to talk about the LSU president rushing the field with the students. I think excuse me, my guess is, Trivia, he was already down there. Like, again, the media goes to the field, is allowed field access with inside of 5 minutes to go in the game. But when the game ends, you go right in the locker room, right, for post-game interviews. So, my guess is he was already down there. That's typically what happens. Like, the administrators and everybody goes down and they go into the locker room after the game. So he was probably already down there. So then it was like, do you just stand here and get trampled, or do you kind of go with the crowd? Jason Mabio, morning. I've noticed recently that when watching any of the 104.5 YouTube channel shows, the audio goes in and out. Did y'all change anything? Your channel and everything else plays fine. Jason, what probably happens is whenever we use licensed music, YouTube probably mutes whenever the licensed music is playing. So that's probably what you're seeing. I don't know if you're watching live or if you're watching on demand. If you're watching live, probably not. But on demand, that's probably, so like if you're going back when the YouTube bots are tracking that, and if they hear a song like that we use that's licensed for radio, that we use like as bump music to return or as a bed under show, like, and you hear it mute, that's probably why. That's my guess. I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but that's probably why. Don Juan Jose, can't believe Jaden Rashada flipped from Miami to Florida. Saw that's the quarterback. Florida's Jaden Rashada had a big NIL deal with Miami. Florida's NIL collective is organized and well funded. I'm not surprised. And also, Miami's dumpster fire. Lance Bradford. Yeah, by the way, I'll smash the like button if you would, please. 121 watching there on YouTube. Thank you. Please just smash the like button and subscribe up to the channel if you haven't done so. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. As always, brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. They're the best. Locations all over Greater Baton Rouge. I think tonight's week 10 or is tonight the play? I think tonight's the playoffs. So, yeah, tonight's playoffs. So, good luck to all the high school kids in the playoffs. Of course, the free Friday night clinic. Brock's done that service for 30 years. Any kid on a Friday night injured can go get checked out for free at Brock. Great service that Brock provides. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco's pinned in the chat. Would love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. You don't even have to be home. We'll just send an inspector to the house, get up on the roof, walk it, mark it, chalk it. If you have damage, we'll help you file a claim, get it taken care of for you. If not, you'll know you're in ship shape. It's all good. And of course, Restored Motions and RestoredMotions.com. Go see my girl, Crystal Pocha. You got pain. She will help take you out of it. Restored Motions. RestoredMotions.com. Lance Bradford, more to Matt. Hopefully the sugar can shed blocks abs. Get to ARC LBS, who is starting at in for Arkansas. Lance Bradford, I have no idea what you're talking about. Look at what you just wrote. Look at what you just wrote. Sean Comiskey, more to Matt. I was thinking it was refreshing to have a head coach fully aware of what both the offense and defense is doing every play. Dave Vendure, what time is the game? 11 a.m. tomorrow. Garrett Haight, heard a rumor Daniels is leaning toward one more season. Would that automatically make LSU a national title contender? They would be a preseason top 10 team. If you got Jaden back, and considering not just Jaden, but you're going to return your entire offensive line. You're going to lose Kayshawn and Jeray Jenkins, but the rest of your receivers are back. Brian Thomas, you get Chris Hilton back healthy, Malik Neighbors, Jack Besh, and on top of it, all the other talent you've recruited. Defensive line, Mekhi Wingo. You're going to lose Ojolari and Gay, but everybody else will be back. You get Mason Smith back off of injury. You'll lose Baskerville, but Harold Perkins obviously will be back. Demario Tolan, year older, year healthier. Greg Penn, and then the guys you've been able to bring up slowly, like Wes Weeks and Colby Fields, who've been special teams guys for you, but have played a good bit. You're gonna have to remake your secondary because a lot of those guys were 1 year super senior mercenaries, so you may have to go hit the portal again for cornerbacks. You know, Radarius Jones and McGee, Demarius McGee haven't played at all this year. I mean, I don't want to spread bad news, but I've heard they're like either ineligible or suspended. Like I don't even know that they're dressing out. So I mean, the only guy that you have would be the two signings from last year with LaTerrence Welsh and then the kid from Lafayette Christian. So you'll need to sort of remake your cornerback room again and probably hit the portal. And you're going to lose Brooks and Fouché. Actually, I think no, I thought one of them maybe had another year because of COVID. I need to go look at it. I need to go look at it. But, Sage Ryan will be back. Jay Ward's got an NFL decision to make. We'll see. But, my point is you're going to get a ton of guys back, Who's starting at quarterback for Arkansas? I think, Lance, the feeling is that KJ Jefferson's going to give it a go. How healthy and able is he? We'll see. All right, I got to go quickly. Jared Esprit, good morning. Got a weird feeling LSU starts fast, runs away with it. Kerry Hughes, do we get a prediction? Privilege this morning. Kerry, I haven't done my... So yesterday, right after AFR, I had to run out to go to the 40 under 40 at the LeBears because my brother-in-law was out honored. Shout out James Anderman, CSRS, was 40 under 40. So I haven't recorded LSU Daily yet, so I haven't actually thought of my exact prediction yet. I'm leaning toward a win and a cover for LSU, like a win by more than 3. I get all of the anxiety. If KJ Jefferson were healthy and that were not a question, I would probably pick this game really close. But I haven't landed on a prediction yet, so my apologies. Normally I would give it to you, but I sincerely have not landed on a prediction yet. So, all right. Let's see. Let me get going here. Brant Roban is best taking a step back. No, he's just battled injuries this year. He battled injuries, and you just were in a situation where you had a new coaching staff that had no allegiance to any player. So Besh was injured. He wasn't playing and practicing much, so other guys took advantage of the opportunity. All right, y'all, I got to get going. My apologies for those that I missed. Do you think Ole Miss takes down Bama yesterday or tomorrow? I'm still going to pick Alabama, but boy, oh boy, do I love Ole Miss in the points. I mean, they are going to score. Ole Miss is going to score a bunch in that game. Okay, I got to get going, y'all. If I missed you, my apologies. Thank you so much for being here. YouTube, please smash that like button and subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post if you haven't done so yet. Shout out to Brock, Hudco, and Restored Motions. We appreciate y'all. Have an awesome day. AFR3, we'll look forward to seeing you then. Peace.